for completeness. The Technical Review Committee reviews the site plan. At that point, a public hearing is scheduled, notice is provided, and then the Board of Commissioners meets and conducts the hearing, gathers the evidence, hears the evidence presented, reviews the exhibits submitted, and makes their decision. That decision is then reduced to writing, and the applicant is notified of the decision, and then there's a technical review and decision on the site plan. So the standards that are set forth in our UDO to grant a special use permit are these 6. And someone seeking a special use permit has to establish that they meet all 6 of these requirements. The first one is that the special use permit, if allowed, will not materially endanger the public health or safety if located where proposed. Number 2, that it complies with all required standards, conditions, and specifications of the UDO. Number 3, that it will not substantially injure the value of the abutting land or the special use is a public necessity. Number 4, that the proposed special use permit will be in harmony with the area in which it is located. Number 5 is in general conformity with the town's adopted policy and guidance. And number 6 includes a concept plan that accurately depicts the proposed uses configuration. In deciding a special use permit, the board may impose reasonable terms and conditions as it deems necessary for the protection of public health, general welfare, and public interest. Any such conditions imposed should be entered into the minutes of the hearing and placed on the permit and approved plans. In other words, if the board believes a condition is necessary or would be necessary to protect public health, general welfare, public interest, that discussion and that decision needs to happen at the hearing. You can't grant the special use permit and then come back later and say, oh yeah, we also want to add these conditions. That needs to be decided at the time, and it needs to be included in the special use permit as allowed. Those conditions run with the land, which means if that property is sold, it runs with the land. It doesn't expire when it's sold to another property owner. Generally, a special use permit is good for 1 year unless otherwise specified, meaning they have to at least start, work within 1 year. If a condition if the board imposes a condition that's later found to be illegal or invalid, the entirety of the special use permit is null and void and the process is restarted. If the board denies a special use permit, the board should enter the reason for its denial in the minutes. Generally, we reduce the decision to writing with the help of town staff, and so the town staff will need to know what are the grounds on which this is granted or denied. And so generally we'll go through all of those 6 requirements and have the board vote on whether the special use permit meets all 6 of those requirements and why, if it doesn't, then why it doesn't. The board, if you deny a special use permit, the board may not reconsider the application without a substantial material change concerning the property of the application. So, we're not going to have, you wouldn't have someone come in to the next meeting and say, okay, I'm going to try again. Same permit, let's hear it, let's try it again. There needs to be a substantial or material change in order for the board to rehear it. All right, so in conducting a quasi-judicial proceeding, it is important, like I said, to build the record and make sure that the record is what you're basing your decision on. So a copy of any documents considered and relied on by town staff, you'll get a packet of the special use permit application or the variance request. All of the documentation should be provided to the board so that they can consider that, and that will also be provided to the applicant. So everyone sort of has all of the relevant materials, and then anything presented at the hearing. If someone presents a document at a quasi-judicial hearing, we take that document and we include it in the record so that, if the decision is challenged later on, we have an accurate record of what was considered, what was before the board, so that we can establish this was in the record or this wasn't in the record. All right, so like I said, in a quasi-judicial context, testimony should generally be sworn. Fact witnesses should be sworn, and the board has the authority to administer oaths to witnesses, to subpoena witnesses, to compel production of evidence necessary for the purpose of the hearing. If we get into a hearing and the board says, well, we really need to hear from this person or we really need to see this piece of evidence, you have the right to request that. You have subpoena power to compel the production of evidence necessary to make an informed decision.
Chairperson
person resides over the hearing and performs the following functions. They recognize speakers, members of the board before they can be heard. So it's run like a meeting, where the chairman, runs the meeting, recognizes speakers and things like that. Rules on objections and requests, and of course, I'll be the attorney, or whoever is the attorney will be advising you and will assist with making decisions on, admissibility of evidence or competency of evidence and things like that, or objections. Some parties may object to certain things being included in the record, and we'll, sort of deal with those as they come up. But ultimately, the chair is the one who rules on those objections. The board chair may also limit testimony or evidence that is irrelevant, repetitive, incompetent, inflammatory, or otherwise inadmissible. Even though this is a quasi-judicial proceeding, run like a trial, run like it's a court proceeding, the North Carolina rules of evidence do not necessarily apply. But you can only consider evidence that's part of the record in anything before the board. All right, so creating a record. The record consists of all documents and exhibits submitted to the decision-making board whose decision is being appealed, together with the minutes of the meeting. So if this board makes a decision in a quasi-judicial context and that decision is appealed, it goes to Superior Court. What is transmitted to the Superior Court is the record. It's all the documents, all the exhibits that were before the board, along with a transcript or a recording of the hearing, so that, a trial court judge or a Superior Court judge or whoever it will be can review the evidence reviewed by the board and determine whether the board's decision is supported by competent, substantial, material evidence. Important to note, the hearing is the only opportunity to ensure that all relevant evidence is in the record. So if a quasi-judicial proceeding occurs, it's appealed to Superior Court, and the court is looking at it, you can't then come in Superior Court and say, well, we also think you should consider this, this, and this. Wasn't before the board, but we think it's relevant. You can't do that. Anything that is supporting or not supporting the decision of the board has to be included in the record, meaning it has to be elicited from testimony or documents at the hearing itself. All right. Who can appear in a quasi-judicial proceeding? A lot of times in legislative proceedings and board meetings, people come up and just as a general, I'm a member of this, I'm a citizen of this town and I oppose this project. That's not really the standard for a quasi-judicial proceeding. Individual applicants or property owners who may suffer special damages have the right to appear either by themselves or through an attorney. If an applicant desires a non-lawyer to act as a representative, the board has to vote to allow that. If a corporation or an entity appears before the board, they have to be represented by an attorney. Someone can't come in and say, I'm here as the president of so-and-so corporation and I oppose this on behalf of the corporation. They have to be represented by an attorney. That's just statutory. Expert witnesses may appear, like engineers, architects, property valuation, things like that. Again, all witnesses should be sworn in before providing testimony, and the board can limit testimony to relevant evidence that's not repetitious. A lot of times, yes, go ahead.
Can you please go over what and who would determine if someone is a subject matter expert?
Yes.
Thank you.
So an expert witness is someone who has sort of special qualifications and training or education that allows them to have, context for something that the general public may not have. So examples of an expert witness would be someone who is trained in, like a real estate appraiser, a traffic study engineer. If someone wants to come in and say this project is going to affect traffic, you can't say that as a lay witness. That is something specifically that requires expert testimony. You would have to bring in an expert, as a traffic engineer who has training and education in that. And ultimately what they'll do is they'll come before the board, and the board will ask questions of, how are you qualified? What is your training? What is your background? And then they can be admitted as an expert witness. An expert could be challenged on competency and sufficiency that they're not actually an expert because they don't have the proper training. And ultimately, the board is the one who makes that determination. Of course, that's subject to review down the road. You know, the attorney advising the board will help decide, you know, whether someone can or should be qualified as an expert witness. Ultimately, that is in the discretion of the board. The chair makes that decision. But yeah, it's someone who would come in with, you know, some sort of background and training that sets them apart from the general public. Same thing with property value. If someone comes in here and says, this project's going to hurt my property value, well, they can't just come in as a lay witness and say that. That is something that requires expert testimony. You have to have someone who has training background in real estate appraisal that can come in and say, yes, this will affect property value, and here's how. When you're examining witnesses as the board has the right to examine, cross-examine witnesses. Again, your role is to elicit the testimony that you think needs to be in the record, either way. Like if you just our job is to elicit the right testimony so that the board can make an informed decision and have evidence in the record to support the decision either way it goes. The applicant or property owner may also have the opportunity to cross-examination or examining witnesses. Hearsay evidence. Generally not allowed in court. Of course, this, as we said, these proceedings are not subject to the North Carolina rules of evidence. But, so, you know, sometimes hearsay evidence will come in. The board's role is to sort of sift through the evidence that is presented and only consider the competent material evidence that's presented and not consider the hearsay evidence. So it's not a violation of anyone's rights to have hearsay evidence presented at the hearing. It would be a violation if you base your decision on hearsay evidence. So that's part of the role of the board, is sorting through the evidence to determine what is hearsay and what is competent material evidence. Of course, hearsay is a statement made by someone who doesn't have direct knowledge. Like, you know, I heard from my neighbor that this is going to cause a problem, or, you know, something like that. In order to be considered by this board as competent material evidence, they have to have direct knowledge. Again, it's testimony. So exhibits that may be presented, witnesses or applicants may present documents as evidence to be considered. Part of building an accurate record is ensuring that those exhibits are incorporated in the record, submitted to the board for review, provided to the parties to the hearing so that they can review and potentially ask questions about those exhibits. And the same considerations regarding witness testimony, you know, no hearsay, no opinions, apply to exhibits. So someone could hand you an exhibit that is a complete hearsay exhibit that you cannot consider. Now, it may be admitted in evidence, it may be reviewed, but you cannot base your decision on hearsay evidence. Again, competent and substantial evidence is the term I keep using. What does that mean? You know, it means that it's made on personal knowledge. It is, if it's something that requires an expert opinion, that is an expert providing that opinion. And it's not hearsay, and it's not, you know, lay witness testimony that an expert should be testifying about. Where there is conflicting evidence in the record, which is very common in these types of proceedings, it is the board's role to weigh the credibility of that testimony. As long as, if you've got competent material evidence on both sides, it's the board's role to weigh the credibility of those two sides and make the decision and to choose which evidence to credit. So again, like I said, these proceedings, the board will make a decision. Sometimes these decisions are appealed to Superior Court. What will the court be looking for on appeal? They're going to be looking at, are there due process violations? Did someone have a fixed opinion? Was there an undisclosed ex parte communication? Things like that. Or was a decision made on evidence not contained in the record? They're going to look for actions in excess of statutory authority. That could be like an unlawful condition that's imposed. Action inconsistent with the applicable procedures specified by the statute of the ordinance. Other errors of law, which is kind of vague, I know, but Decision unsupported by competent material, substantial evidence in view of the entire record. That's kind of the big one. Whatever decision the board makes must be supported by competent material and substantial evidence in the record. Now, there may be competent, substantial material evidence on both sides, and in that case, it's the board's role, again, to decide which side to credit. Or the court will look for an arbitrary and capricious decision, which is also a due process violation. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Commissioner Roa?
No.
Commissioner Baxter?
Yes. If there is a party who is not present, but from whom the board desires testimony from, can you please review the process to either suspend the hearing until that particular party is present, and how that would work as far as, well, the process, and then how the board would then have to address or not address that subject matter in the meantime until we were to reconvene.
Right. So if you open the hearing and you're in the middle of the hearing and you start hearing evidence and you're like, well, I really feel like we need to hear from this person, again, you do have the right to subpoena that person to the hearing. Now that means you got to go get a subpoena, and you got to issue the subpoena, and you got to give them time to comply with the subpoena, which means you can't magically make them appear that night. You're going to have to continue the hearing. Once you've opened the public hearing, you can hold it open and meet at the next meeting. Important factors there are you're in the middle of a quasi-judicial proceeding. You cannot talk about the case with anyone while that continuation is occurring. That's sort of the general rule anyway, but people may come up to you and say, hey, I was at that hearing, I want to tell you my thoughts on it. You should tell them, I'm sorry, I can't talk about it. It's a quasi-judicial proceeding, and I'm not going to engage in ex parte communications. If someone does come up to you and has that conversation, that's something that should be disclosed. But yes, you have the right to reconvene the hearing, issue the subpoena, and get the person in to get that testimony.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Adams?
No.
Commissioner Davis?
Can we get a copy of this presentation?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Just real fast, if you had, say you had a citizen come and ask you about the process of the quasi-judicial, are you able to share this information with them, or how does that work then? Or
I'm sorry, share.
if you had the process that you're giving us tonight, if you had a citizen ask you that, what does the quasi-judicial look like process? Are we allowed to share that? Or
Yes, this is presented in open session. It's public document, public record now that it's been submitted to the board. I'm happy to share this with anyone who would like to see it.
Let's go.
I'll also say there's a lot of great resources out there on quasi-judicial proceedings. If you spend some time on Coates Canon, there's some great articles on quasi-judicial proceedings that give some great context to some of the things we've talked about. And I would encourage the board and anyone who's interested in quasi-judicial proceedings to review those articles.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. All good? Right. Thank you so much. Any other questions, discussions from the board? Attorney Hartsburg, you all good? All right, thank you so much. And now, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Special called meeting adjourned. We will take a 4-minute break. Run.
Did you miss me? So,
That's a good question. Huh?
Good evening, everyone, again, and welcome to the April meeting of the Zebulun Board of Commissioners. We do realize that it is April 6th and not March 2nd. Please excuse the typo on the screen. This meeting is now called to order. We will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Mayor Pro Tem.
Everyone could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go to the approval of the agenda, there are some changes that needed to be made. Okay. I would like to pull from the consent agenda the meeting minutes from February 19th to old business. Old business A. Thank you. I would also like to pull from new business A, North Carolina NCLM Board of Directors vote and delegate. And I would also like to pull I would also like to pull new business E, East Wake Asphalt Plant Quasi-Judicial Hearing, Special Use Permit 2026-01. And I will take a moment and allow our attorney to explain the pulling of that agenda item. Thank you.
Yes, we received over the last couple of days two letters from people who would like to participate in that hearing, who contend that they have the right to participate as a party. One was from Brooks Machine, LLC, and I'll read the letters they wrote just into the record. This was sent to my colleague, Katie Barber-Jones. It says, "Dear Ms. Barber-Jones, I am writing today to express my client's displeasure of holding the hearing on Monday, 6th of April, 2026 at 1800 hours. This date is right after the Easter holiday. It is actually still observed as Easter Monday for many people here in this area. Several of his employees and contractors whose business and lifestyle would be severely impacted by the asphalt plant are not going to be available to speak as they are out of town at that time. Also, the link on the posted signs informing the public about the asphalt plant proposal are still not working. We believe that this is a violation that must be corrected before a hearing can go forward. For these reasons and more that we reserve to bring up on Monday, we ask that the hearing be postponed and set a more appropriate date and time." That was from Alan Swaim, attorney for Brooks Machine. We also received a letter from Wake County. It says, "Dear Mayor and Commissioners, Wake County is co-owners of the Zebulun Stadium, formerly known as 5 County Stadium, located at 1501 NC 39 in Zebulun, North Carolina. Request that the Town of Zebulun Board of Commissioners postpone the East Wake Asphalt Plant Quasi-Judicial Hearing, Special Use Permit 2601, scheduled for your Monday, April 6, 2026 Board of Commissioners meeting. Wake County was only made aware of the special use permit and the proposed hearing scheduled for Monday, April 6, 2026, near the close of business on Thursday, April 2nd, 2026. Though notice that the special use permit application only required for property owners within 750 feet of the proposed development, the proposed use as a hot mix asphalt plant could impact the stadium property, both current uses and future development. Given the short notice before a holiday weekend, the county requests additional time to review and understand this permit application and prepare evidence or testimony for the permit proceedings. We hope you will consider postponing this hearing. Please let us know if you have any questions. Sincerely, Emily Lucas, Deputy County Manager." So given that we received these requests from potentially interested parties who contend they have the right to participate in that hearing, and that they're contending they didn't get adequate notice, I think it would be, we talked about due process and the right to meaningfully participate in the hearing. We want to make sure that anyone who contends they have the right to participate has a meaningful opportunity to do so. My recommendation to this board is to reschedule that. We've talked to the attorney for the applicants and one of the attorneys for some potential property owners. It looks like we are all available to have a special meeting potentially on, I believe, May What date were we looking at? May 12th?
May 12th?
Yeah,
Okay.
May 12th at the regular time, 6 o'clock, if that works for the board.
All right. Board, May 12th at what time?
At 6 o'clock.
At 6
And it
o'clock?
would just be we would notice a special meeting for the special use permit application.
Okay. I get the pleasure from the board.
Correct.
Commissioner Roa, are you available May 12th, 6 p.m.?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Commissioner Baxter? Commissioner Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
All right. So we will be moving the East Wake Asphalt Plant Quasi-Judicial Hearing, Special Use Permit 2026-01 to a special called meeting that will be held in council chambers on May 12th at 6 o'clock p.m. Thank you. Are there any other changes to the agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
I'd like to pull consent item C, Police Department.
Are you pulling it and putting it somewhere, or just pulling it?
Just
pulling
pulling
it? Okay, thank you.
Just pull it. And
So
also
pulling it entirely or pulling it?
pull it entirely.
Did you have any others?
I'm going to pull also D3 as well, Gill Street Park Part F application, Resolution 2026-19.
Pulling that to, are you pulling that to work session?
Yes,
Correct.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna pull
So
it.
Mayor Pro Tem will be pulling
What do you want?
C,
No, what you got?
and we'll be pulling C, and we will be putting D3 to our April, which work session, our April work session?
We can do April work section, it's
Okay.
fine.
We'll move that to our April work session. Are there any other changes?
I'm sorry, I just need to understand that a little bit better. So we've got the February 19th, which is just pulled out of consent and will hit the agenda.
It's going to new business.
You're going into,
Oh, no, old business, I'm sorry, old business A.
and then you had one more?
And then I pulled the NC Board of Directors, NCLM Board of Directors delegation. Just the consent agenda minutes. I want to make sure that we get those minutes corrected.
I don't see it there, I just see it under 7A,
Which one, dear?
the Board of Directors, the voting delegate assignment. Correct. Oh, you want to pull it off entirely? Yes. Okay. And then we're going to pull C1 entirely,
Yes, ma'am.
and then pull D3 entirely.
No, D3 is being tabled to our April work session. What's the date for April work session? April 16th. Okay. Any other changes? Commissioner Roa?
I'd like to pull B2, Budget Amendment Ordinance 2026-28 to our Thursday board retreat.
Thursday board retreat?
Yes.
Manager Crosby, is that cool? Okay, thank you. Anything else, Commissioner Roa?
No, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. And Commissioner Adams? Commissioner Baxter, I can't remember if I asked you if you had anything. You good? Okay. Commissioner Davis?
No.
Good? Mayor Pro Tem, you good?
Just Board of Finance, one, you good? Thank you.
Good? All right.
But can we just have a little conversation about why C1? Why,
We will when we get to discussion. I'll ask that. All right. So, all right, now we have some agenda amendments. Is there an motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And a second. Discussion. Commissioner Baxter?
in favor?
Commissioner Baxter? Discussion. Discussion.
Oh, okay, so we're not, okay. I wasn't sure if we were going to do that
Yeah, do
under
it
the
now.
approval of the consent agenda.
No, we can do it now.
All right, great. So just help me understand, Commissioner Miles, why you're pulling entirely C1?
There's no room for discussion. We're going to pull it and just leave it as is. We're going to pull it and leave it currently as it stands.
What do you mean?
The town manager is currently that person. We're going to leave that there.
Any more discussion? All right. All in favor? Commissioner Rolla? Look, we're going to do a roll vote. Commissioner Rolla?
Yes.
Commissioner Baxter?
In favor.
Commissioner Adams? Commissioner Davis? All right, thank you. The agenda has passed. And now we will have our public comments. Public comments. If you wish to speak during the public comment section of the meeting, you must sign up. The comment period will be no longer than 15 minutes, with speakers having 3 minutes to speak. No speaker can speak on a public hearing item or any item that will need to be discussed under closed session. Speakers cannot speak more than once during the public comments portion of the meeting and cannot give their time to another speaker. If there is more than one person who wishes to speak on the same topic with the same point of view, it is recommended to pick one person to speak on that topic. If there is not enough time for all speakers to have an opportunity to speak, those not able to speak will be the first to speak at the first meeting the following month. The first person that we have for public comment is Clay Bryant. Okay. Looks like Clay's already gone.
Left. I
Okay.
think some of them may have left.
Natasha Drake. You okay? Yes.
With a line next to them, they are going to be read by me.
Oh, okay.
If that's on.
The next one is Rory White. Rory White. Okay. Next person is Reggie Brooks. Okay. Next person is Stacy Bohovisky. Next person is Emily Cochran. All right, good job, Emily. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Emily Cochran, and I just wanted to take a minute to invite all of y'all in front of me and all of y'all behind me to the litter sweep on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. We're going to meet at the Walmart parking lot and then work our way down Gannon towards downtown to pick up the trash that lines our streets. And if you can't make it this week, we're going to do it again next month. Thank you.
Apologize. Thank you so much. Scott Carpenter. Sorry, I'll fix it.
Scott Carpenter, I live in downtown Zebulun. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. For the past 2 board meetings, one commissioner has spoken critically of the rest of the board. Those words, while unpleasant, are protected by the First Amendment. So was the speech underway at the January meeting, critical of this board, before the gentleman was gavelled and interrupted. Accepting some criticism while rejecting others is the textbook example of viewpoint discrimination. The Supreme Court holds that suppressing speech because government disagrees with the message is almost always unconstitutional, especially in public forums. These actions have placed the board and our tax dollars at legal risk. Each of you swore an oath to uphold the United States Constitution, which protects our right to address our government. I have those rights. Each of you has those rights. Commissioner Baxter has those rights. Nicholas Walton has those rights. Yet Mr. Walton was told in open session, quote, "As you are speaking, you are not to attack the board," unquote. By saying that, you placed our town and our tax dollars at risk if challenged. Here's a remedy. Seek First Amendment training for yourselves and staff open to the public. As you hire new legal counsel, ask about constitutional rights and viewpoint discrimination. so that you can defend those rights and prevent litigation. Criticism is not an attack. Mr. Walton may criticize you. Commissioner Baxter may criticize you. You may criticize us. The attack comes when you limit our rights. We will not be silenced. Tyrants silence critics. Leaders show respect. Which are you? Tyrants or leaders? You should also apologize to Mr. Walton in open session with the same fervor used to admonish him. It's simple. Invite Mr. Walton back. Tell him, bang, bang, bang. Mr. Walton, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Please continue.
Next person on the list is Ann Brooks. No, Ms. Brooks. Next person is Denny Turner. No, Denny Turner. And Mr. Clerk, are there any emails that have come in?
There are, Madam Mayor. We have several. If you'll give me 1 second, I'll get those pulled up.
Thank you. That was all from the list of people that signed up.
Okay.
Thank you.
It looks like I have 5 different letters to read from, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
The first one is from Gabrielas Borgos. The dear members of the board, I am writing as a homeowner in the Sydney Creek community to express my strong opposition to the proposed asphalt plant. This project raises serious concerns regarding increased truck traffic, noise, air pollution, and light pollution. These impacts will negatively affect the health, safety, and quality of life of residents, especially those with respiratory conditions. Additionally, it may significantly reduce property values in our neighborhood. I respectfully urge the board to deny the special use permit and prioritize the well-being of the existing community. Thank you for your time and consideration. I hope I'm getting this name pronunciation correct. It looks like Lebishner. To all whom it may concern, I am writing to express my deep concern regarding the proposed asphalt site, as my daughter Olivia suffers from asthma. As a parent, there is nothing more frightening than watching your child struggle to breathe, and we already face that reality more often than we should. The thought of increased air pollution, dust, and chemical emissions being introduced into our community is overwhelming, knowing it could trigger more frequent and severe asthma attacks for her. She deserves to run, play, and simply be a child without the constant fear of not being able to catch her breath. This decision is not just about development. It directly impacts the health, safety, and quality of life of children like Olivia. I ask you from one parent's heart to please consider the real and lasting consequences this could have on families like ours. Computer's a little slow, forgive me.
No worries, thank you.
The next email was from Patrick Hessman. It says, good afternoon, my name is Patrick Hessman, and I am a resident of a neighborhood that would be directly affected by this proposed asphalt plant. I am also the parent of a 14-month-old daughter with a respiratory condition. Recently, she was hospitalized and required oxygen and multiple nebulizer treatments just to breathe properly. As a parent, I cannot ignore what this could mean for her health. The thought of adding industrial emissions so close to our home is deeply concerning. No family should have to worry that the air outside their home could make their child sick. This isn't just about my child, it's about every child who calls this community home. This project would turn something as simple as playing in our backyard into a potential health risk for my child. I urge you to consider the real human impact this decision will have on families like mine. I can't protect my daughter from the air she breathes, but you can. Best regards, Patrick Hessman. And I mentioned there were 5. It looks like one is a redundant. This should be the last one. This is from Sonia Del Mar. She says, I would like to express my concern regarding the proposed asphalt site, as I have young children who suffer from eczema and severe allergies. Air quality is extremely important for children with these conditions, and increased exposure to pollutants, dust, and chemical emissions from an asphalt facility could significantly worsen their symptoms. This could lead to more frequent flare-ups, skin irritation, respiratory issues, and overall discomfort that affects their daily quality of life. As a parent, my priority is protecting their health, and I am deeply concerned that this development would create an environment that is not safe for children with sensitive skin and underlying health conditions. I respectfully ask that you take families like mine into serious consideration when making this decision. Signed, Sonia Del Mar. And that's the last email I received, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. And now, moving on to 4, we will now have a presentation from Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Inc. Please join us at this podium right here to your left. Thank you. I'm sorry. No, I need to interrupt as well. When we did the roll vote for the approval of the agenda, I did not call Mayor Pro Tem. And so can we please, Mayor Pro Tem, what was your vote?
That would be favor.
Favor. Can we please make sure we include that? I apologize.
We're fine. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm sorry, Jeremy, go ahead.
Nope, sorry, there was 2 more hard copy emails that were dropped off when we started, and I overlooked them. Just 1 second.
I'm sorry, is that, 1 second, okay.
Sorry. This first one is from Catherine Schwartz. It says, good afternoon, my name is Catherine Schwartz, and I strongly oppose the proposed asphalt plant in our community. This is deeply personal to me, as my sister suffers from serious cardiac and breathing issues, including congestive heart failure. Air quality is critical for her health, and increased pollution from an asphalt plant could worsen her condition, making it harder for her to breathe and putting additional strain on her heart. This would directly impact her quality of life in a way that cannot be ignored. With existing concerns about environmental conditions in our area, adding another source of pollution feels unsafe for vulnerable residents like my sister. I respectfully urge you to deny this permit and prioritize the health and well-being of our community. Sincerely, Catherine Schwartz. And the last one is from Ms. Whittian Alcin, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It says, opposition to the emergency permit for asphalt plant near Sydney Creek on Old Bun Road. She has them broken down by bullet points. Synergistic medical risks. The Sydney Creek community is already saturated with industrial emissions from the neighboring water treatment plant. Existing odor issues. Residents already face a constant rotten egg smell that forces them to stay indoors. Chemical compounding. Adding an asphalt plant introduces benzene and formaldehyde to existing hydrogen sulfide levels. Inhaling these together can overwhelm the respiratory system, leading to heightened risk of asthma, chronic bronchitis, and central nervous system depression. Olfactory fatigue, constant exposure to sewage smells can cause olfactory fatigue where residents stop detecting dangerous gases, meaning you could be exposed to lethal levels from the new plant without warning. The next section is under financial burden and saturation devaluation. Property devaluation studies from the Blue Ridge Environmental Defense League have documented property value losses of up to 56% near asphalt plants. Unsellable homes. Real estate data shows that once industrial plant plans are announced, buyers' interest evaporates, turning a vibrant new community into a stagnant market. And mortgage inequity. New homeowners risk seeing their home values drop by 20% or more immediately, leaving families with underwater mortgages on brand new properties. The next section is on local precedent, Wake County impacts. Residents in and around Wake County have fought similar emergency or special use permits in the last 5 to 10 years. to protect their health and property. Zebulun, residents are currently organizing against a proposed asphalt plan on Old Bund Road, citing that the site is not zoned for heavy industry and is dangerously close to existing and planned residential growth. Angier, North Carolina, after a 7-hour meeting packed with concerned homeowners, the town council denied a permit for an asphalt plant on Highway 210. Residents successfully argued that the toxic fumes and the devaluation would destroy their southern charm and health. The Durham and Triangle area, experts note that asphalt plants fall between concrete plants and hazardous waste in terms of actual community impact, yet developers often try to bypass the 1,500-foot setbacks required for high-risk facilities. Requested action. We respectfully request the immediate denial of the emergency permit and any future request for an asphalt plant near our community. Sydney Creek has reached its operational capacity. Introducing an additional industrial facility raises significant concerns about environmental equity and may have lasting impacts on both residents' well-being and the value of their investments. Just out of curiosity, I've already passed 3 minutes. We would have stopped her. Shall I continue?
You can stop.
Okay.
Thank you.
I can stop?
You can stop.
Okay.
Thank you so much. But if you could make sure that the board is able to at least finish reading those in the public, that would be great.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry for the interruption.
That's okay. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. All right. Thank you so much. And now we will have our presentation.
Good evening, Mayor Harrison, Mayor Pro Tem Miles, commissioners, town manager, and residents of Zebulun. My name is Tangela Nixon, and I serve as president of the Chi Rho Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. On behalf of more than 200 members, thank you for the opportunity to be with you this evening and to share the work we're doing across Eastern Wake County. For over 20 years, Chi Rho Omega has proudly served communities throughout Eastern Wake County, including Zebulun, Knightdale, Roseville, Wendell, and Wake Forest. Since our chartering in 2004, our chapter has grown into a strong network of women committed to service, leadership, and meaningful community impact. Our work is guided by Alpha Kappa Alpha's international program framework, which centers on 5 key areas: empowering families, building economic wealth, enhancing the environment, advocating for social justice, and uplifting our local communities. At its core, our approach is simple. We believe that strong families build strong communities, and we design our work to support individuals and families at every stage of life. Here in Eastern Wake County, that commitment shows up in very real and tangible ways. We are actively addressing food insecurity through our partnership with Bread for Life at the Zebulun Boys and Girls Club, where families receive consistent access to food and support. Through our Childhood Hunger Initiative Power Pack program, we provide weekend and holiday meals for children who might otherwise go without. We are also deeply invested in developing the next generation of leaders. Through our Youth Leadership Institute, we engage middle school students in leadership development, STEM exploration, and community service. Through our Pearls and Purpose program, we prepare high school students for college, careers, and civic leadership. Over the past year alone, our members have dedicated more than 1,400 volunteer hours mentoring youth across Eastern Wake County. Mental health is another area where we are intentionally leaning in. We recognize the growing need for awareness and support, and this spring we will host a mental health and wellness fair to connect families with resources, education, and support. In addition, we have facilitated community-based training to help individuals recognize the warning signs of suicide crisis and respond effectively. We are also committed to building economic strength within our communities. Last June, our members collectively spent more than $85,000 supporting local Black-owned businesses, demonstrating our intentional spending and how it can circulate dollars locally and strengthen our regional economy. Through our Cultivating Resources and Opportunities Community Foundation, we continue to invest in education. Most recently, we awarded $50,000 in scholarships supporting students across Eastern Wake County, including some right here in Zebulun. We continue to understand the true impact can happen through partnership. We have worked alongside organizations like the Dorothy May Hall Women's Center to provide essential items and financial support to women and families in need. We have supported local schools, including providing assistance to families at Zebulun Middle School. We partner with municipalities, nonprofits, and community organizations because we know that collaboration allows us to go further together. Looking ahead, we're excited about opportunities to continue engaging with the broader Eastern Wake County community. On May 2nd, we will host Spring into Impact, CRO Community Festival at Knightdale Station Park. This is a free, family-centered event designed to bring together more than 300 Eastern Wake County residents. It will include youth activities, wellness resources, and opportunities for families to connect with community partners. The event also supports our scholarships and reflects our commitment to strengthening families across Eastern Wake County, including residents of Zebulun. We would love to see this community represented and engaged. In addition to our direct service work, we are also leaning into advocacy where we see opportunities to improve access and equity for our residents. One of our current priorities is advocating for an additional early voting site in Eastern Wake County, specifically in Knightdale. As this region continues to grow, access to voting locations must grow with it. This effort is about reducing wait times, improving accessibility, and ensuring that residents across Eastern Wake have equitable access to participate in the democratic process. We respectfully encourage the town of Zebulun's support for expanded early voting access, whether through formal advocacy or continued partnership in ensuring residents are informed and engaged. As we look ahead, we are not just here to share what we've done, we are here to build on what comes next. We see a strong opportunity to deepen our partnership with the town of Zebulun through co-hosted events, youth engagement initiatives, financial literacy program, wellness efforts, and community outreach. We will be following up individually to learn more about your priorities and explore how Chi Rho Omega can align our work to support the vision you have for this community. Thank you again for your leadership, your service, and your commitment to the residents of Zebulun. We look forward to continuing to serve alongside you and strengthening Eastern Wake County together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next on the agenda, we have recognitions and proclamations. However, I'm not sure if our student and staff from Zebulun Elementary School are here.
They are not, Madam Mayor.
Okay, so I will still read these. Or you want to, okay, all right. Yes? Okay. All right, so tonight we are recognizing students from Zebulun GT Magnet Elementary School. The student that we are recognizing is Rakaya Buchanan. Rakaya Buchanan, it is a true honor to recognize such an exceptional student. She is incredibly intelligent and consistently excels in everything she sets her mind to. Her work reflects not only a deep understanding of content, but also a level of thoughtfulness and dedication that sets her apart. Though she may be quiet, her presence is powerful. She demonstrates a quiet confidence that speaks volumes, never needing to seek attention, yet always standing out through her actions, ideas, and determination. In every setting, she is bold in her thinking, unafraid to challenge herself, and always willing to go beyond what is expected. She approaches every task with care, curiosity, and drive for excellence. Whether working independently or collaborating with others, she leads by example. Her leadership is not loud, but it is strong, steady, and inspiring. She lifts those around her and sets a high standard through her commitment and integrity. It has truly been a joy to have her as a student. Watching her grow, achieve, and shine has been incredibly rewarding. I am so proud of all she has accomplished and excited for all that lies ahead for her. Rakaya is without a doubt a remarkable young scholar and leader. Let's all celebrate Ms. Buchanan in her absence. right. And now we have our teacher. Our teacher is also from Zebulun GT Magnet Elementary. Our teacher is Miss Santina Smith. Santina Smith is an outstanding educator who consistently demonstrates a deep commitment to excellence. As an AIG teacher, she maintains high expectations for all students, challenging them to think critically, break barriers, and exceed academic standards. Her dedication to fostering both confidence and achievement ensures that students are not only meeting goals, but reaching their fullest potential. Thank you to Ms. Santina Smith. All right, thank you. And now we will have our Arbor Day 2026 proclamation read by Commissioner Adams.
Proclamations celebrate Arbor Day 2026. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil and wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the Earth's temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide a habitat for wildlife, and whereas trees are renewable resources for giving us paper, wood for our homes, and fuel for our fires. And whereas trees in our town increase property value, enhance economic vitality of business areas, improve residents' health, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore, Jessica D. Harris, Mayor of the town of Zebulun, North Carolina, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day in the town of Zebulun. And I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the hearts of and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Adopted April 6th of 2026.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams. Clap for him because he said my last name wrong. So, no, I'm just joking. Thank you all. Thank you so much. All right. And now we will move for a motion to approve our consent agenda. Will there be a motion?
So moved.
Our consent agenda as amended. Mayor Pro Tem, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Thank you, Commissioner Adams, for the second. Is there a discussion? Thank you. All in favor? Passes. Thank you. And now we are going to go to old business. I pulled February 19th meeting minutes. And I will need some direction here from Mr. Clerk and maybe our town attorney. Our February 19th work session, there was a vote that was taken. And in that vote, Commissioner Roa was not in favor of that vote, but I unintentionally did not call on him. And so I would like for us to make sure that those minutes are reflected so that it doesn't count his vote as a yes, but that they are reflected correctly. What do we need to do to make that happen?
So I think under Robert's Rules of Order, you can make a point of order at any point, and I think Commissioner Roa could raise a point of order and say that he did not get the right to vote in the negative, and the board would need to vote to have the meeting accurately reflect that he was denied the right to vote and would have voted in the negative had he had the opportunity to do so. I think if he makes that motion, the board could vote to do that, and we could amend the minutes to reflect that he was not given the opportunity to vote in the negative.
Thank you. All right. Commissioner Roa, would you like to do that?
Sure. I don't know why I pressed this button. Sure. Can you give it to me one more time?
Were denied the opportunity to vote, that you would have voted in the negative. Of course, the minutes cannot reflect that you did vote in the negative because that's not what happened, and the minutes do need to be accurate, but they could be amended to reflect that you were denied the opportunity to vote and would have voted in the negative had you had the opportunity to do so.
So I'd like to make a point of order that I was denied the right to vote at that session, and I would have voted no, and I'd like that reflected in the minutes.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. We are going to do a roll vote.
I'd like some discussion, please.
All right, discussion. See, I'm working on it.
I'd just like to understand where exactly in the meeting you are voting no.
And it was during the, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That was at the very end after we came back from break for the 46,000 expenditure for the attorneys.
It was ordinance 2026-23 general fund budget amendment.
Let's just make sure that that's how we word that in the future, because if it had been that he was disputing the vote to call the meeting to order, then we would not have had a quorum. So just for further information, make sure that you state what exactly you voted no on so that everything can be reflected accordingly, and just to make sure that we don't run into a violation of quorum situation.
Side Chair Baxter. All right.
I would also,
Sitting next to the attorney.
All right, that's why I say side chair.
I'm getting
You have a side
some
chair.
osmosis
right.
learning.
I would also suggest that in the future, if that does occur, that you raise the point of order at that time.
At that meeting, yeah.
So that, that we could address it right away and allow the opportunity to vote. It's easier to correct it at the meeting it occurs than, down the road, because now we have to amend the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big deal, but in the future, if someone has a point of order like that, it would be preferable to raise it at that time.
Thank you. It's cool. Okay. So we have a motion. We have a second. We've had a discussion. Any further discussion or comments? All right, we're going to do a roll vote. Commissioner Roa? Commissioner Baxter?
I am in favor as long as it reflects that he was voting no on ordinance 2026-23.
Thank you. Commissioner Adams?
Approve.
Commissioner Davis? Favor. Mayor Pro Tem?
Favor.
Motion passes. Thank you. Ms.
Madam
Clerk?
Mayor, just to confirm, who was the second? I got the Mayor Pro Tem was the motion. Who was
No,
our second?
George made the motion. Mayor Pro Tem made the second.
Gotcha, I got him backwards.
Commissioner Roa made the, yes. Okay. Thank you. That was correct, right?
That's
Okay.
correct. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you all. We are moving down to new business. New business B, Gateway Zebulun annexation.
Madam Mayor, I have to recuse myself from this. Should I sit here, go in there?
You'll need to make a motion to recuse yourself and allow the board to vote on that.
I'm sorry, say it again, Dad.
If you're going to recuse yourself, you make a motion to do so and allow the board to vote on that.
You have to make a vote on that.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to recuse myself from Gateway Zebulun annexation ordinance 2026-29.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
You should state the grounds for recusal
Why?
as well.
Mr. Grounds, why?
Financial interest.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there a discussion?
Thank
Correct.
you.
All in favor? Roll vote. Commissioner Baxter? Favor. Commissioner Adams? Favor. Commissioner Davis?
Favor.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Favor.
So do you vote to recuse yourself?
Favor.
Right. All right. Thank you so much. And now we will hear from our planning department. Thank you.
Just quick clarification.
Oh, my goodness, Dan.
You wouldn't have him vote on the motion to recuse.
Got
It
you.
would be the
Okay.
rest of
I didn't know how that worked. Thank you. Thank you. We're all learning. Thank you, guys. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and Board of Commissioners. Tonight, I'll be presenting the Gateway Zebulun annexation, ordinance 2026-29. And before I continue, I would like to ask the board if you have any questions regarding this annexation petition, to please address those to Planning Director Matt Lauer. And additionally, the applicant for this project is here and would like to speak on this project whenever appropriate. The property that is in question today is highlighted in the image on the screen here. The applicant is Spectrum Investment Solutions, LLC. The property owners are Lonnie and Martha Stansel. The property addresses are 0, 1928, and 1938 Zebulun Road. The PIN numbers are as follows: 17967488489, 17968544029, and 17968458839. And the site consists of 15.42 acres. Public hearing notification, public hearing signs was posted on the front of this property as shown with the image on the left here. Mailed notices were sent to property owners within 750 feet of the site, and a newspaper notice was sent out in the Wake Weekly. This map shows that currently the site is in the town's ETJ and that it is adjacent to the existing corporate limits. This map shows the current zoning district of a planned development district where, as a reminder, you all, as the Board of Commissioners, approved this planned development rezoning for the site last year in May of 2025. These are the annexation standards that the board must use when making their decisions per UDO section 222G. Number 1, owner approval. Number 2, can services be provided for the site? Number 3, if the site has any debt obligations. And number 4, if this annexation petition benefits the public's health, safety, and welfare. Staff recommends approval of the proposed annexation and adoption of Ordinance 2026-29 if the board finds that the standards of Section 222G are met.
Anybody have any questions? Commissioner Baxter?
None of this time.
Commissioner Adams?
No.
Commissioner Davis?
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem?
None.
Commissioner Rolla?
He's not allowed.
Thank you. Anything from the owner?
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the Board of Commissioners, Town Manager and the staff. For the record, my name is Robert Terry. I'm the broker in charge of Insight Residential Realty, and we represent the parties in this annexation hearing. We are before you this evening to formally request annexation for our project site, Gateway Zebulun, which represents an exciting step forward, and our goal from day one has been to create a development that aligns with the community's vision for sensible, high-quality growth. Beyond the physical development, we recognise that sustainable growth must financially benefit the municipality. Bringing Gateway Zebulun into the corporate limits represents a significant capital investment that will meaningfully expand the town's tax base and bring much wanted retail opportunities in the town in that area. This project is positioned to generate substantial long-term property and commercial tax revenues for the town, funds that will flow directly back into the community to support Zebulun's infrastructure, essential public services, and the exceptional quality of life we all value. We view this project as a true partnership where the town's bottom line grows right alongside the developers. The project has an incredible location, being within walking distance to 3,000 homes via the crown jewel of Zebulun, the Greenway walking trail. The property has a long history with the town, first up as farmland many years ago, later as a tractor dealership.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I do think we did not open the public hearing, and I believe we need to do that.
We just need you to open the public hearing.
The public hearing is now open. Public hearing is the opportunity for the public to express thoughts, ideas, concerns, and opinions regarding the proposed request to the Board of Commissioners. The Board of Commissioners, staff, and applicant will not engage in dialogue at this time. If the public has questions pertaining to the annexation request, please contact town staff or the applicant following the annexation public hearing.
Sorry, thank you. Sorry,
No
go ahead.
Okay.
Just a procedural issue, sorry about that. Please proceed.
That's not all my stuff.
Right. Yeah. The property has a long history of the town, being a tractor dealership there at one time. Both the sellers in the Stansel family and the Buyer Spectrum Solution are both excited and anxious to get this project started and underway. It's been several years in the making, so we hope to get a start midway through the year. The Stansels especially are looking forward to the participation of the project side for the growth and revitalisation of that property and that particular area. Finally, I want to briefly thank the Planning Department, Matt, Catherine, Chris, Elizabeth, and all the staff for their professionalism and guidance in helping us get to this particular point. Thank you for your time, your leadership, and your previous positive consideration of the project, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Looks like we're good. Thank you. Mr. Medina? All right. Is there a motion?
Did you need to say something?
Oh, Matt, sorry.
The public hearing is still open, so I would like to go back to this slide until the town attorney is satisfied the public hearing is closed.
Yes. I'm sorry, my notes are not reflecting this meeting today, so I'm a little all over the place. So please forgive me. Please.
Well, if there's anyone else to speak at the public hearing.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of this annexation? Please step to our podium next to the town clerk. Are there any parties that wish to speak in opposition? Please step to the podium. If there's anyone that wishes to speak neither in opposition or in favor, please step to the podium. Hearing none, the public hearing is now closed. Thank you. All right, thank you. And now we were looking for a motion.
I'll
Is
go
there
ahead
a
and make
motion?
that. I hereby move to approve ordinance 2026-29 for the annexation of Wake County PIN 17967484889, 17968544029, and 17968458839 into the Zebulun corporate boundaries, finding that the standards of section 2.2.2G are met.
Thank you, Commissioner Baxter. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Thank you. Motion passes. Thank you. Mr. Medina? And now we will have phase in track annexation ordinance 2026-30. Mr. Gunders, hello.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. Good evening, Mayor and Board of Commissioners. Tonight I will be presenting the phase-in track annexation, ordinance number 2026-36. So, Oh, wait, the slides are out of order. Or was I supposed to? Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay, I'm looking for them too in mine.
All right, so the area being proposed for annexation is shown in yellow on the map over there. The applicant for the proposed annexation is the Timmons Group, and the property owner is Andrew Faison, and the property address is 0 Gannon Avenue and 100 Coolwood Trail. And the property PIN numbers are 1795, 123, 608, and 1795, 038, 323. And the combined acreage proposed as part of proposed annexation is 102.16 acres. So the public hearing notification, there was public hearing signs put up on the property, and mail notices were sent to property owners within 750 feet. And the newspaper, notice was also posted in the newspaper, the Wake Weekly. And the property is within the town of Zebulon's ETJ and is adjacent to the corporate limits of the town. And the zoning for the property is R2 residential suburban. And the board will determine whether the following standards in section 2.2.2.g have been met. If the owner has provided approval, if services can be provided, debt obligations, if the property doesn't have any debt obligations, and if the public health, safety, and welfare has been met. Staff recommends approval of the proposed annexation and adoption of ordinance number 2026-36 if the board finds that the standards of section 2.2.2.2G are met. And any questions can be directed to Planning Director Matt Lauer, and also the applicant is here too if you have any questions for them as well.
Thank you so much. Questions from the board, Commissioner Davis?
No questions at this time.
Commissioner Adams?
Yes, maybe I missed it. So on that 102 acres, what is going to be built out there? What are we? What?
Requesting to rezone it. They'll build something, our understanding, they're going to build something that meets the R2 zoning at this time. So they're simply asking for the property to be annexed into the corporate limits, and they're not asking to rezone it from the R2 standards.
Commissioner Baxter?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Roa?
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem?
I think concerning the question that you had, Commissioner Adams, as well, just kind of trying to figure out that blanket line approval. I like what you said. Thank you for that.
Any other questions from the board? You said the applicant is here. Does the applicant wish to speak?
I think for the sake of consistency, the applicant should speak during the public hearing like the last applicant.
Thank you. All right. We are now opening up for a public hearing. The public hearing is the opportunity for the public to express thoughts, ideas, concerns, and opinions regarding the proposed request to the Board of Commissioners. The Board of Commissioners staff and applicant will not engage in dialogue at this time. If the public has questions pertaining to the annexation request, please contact town staff or the applicant following the annexation public hearing. Thank you.
Good evening. Beth Blackman with Timmons Group, 5410 Trinity Road, Suite 102, Raleigh. I'm here on behalf of the property owner and the potential developer of the site. This is within the ETJ. We are not proposing a rezoning. We're sticking with the R2 existing zoning. We will do a conservation subdivision on this property, but we would like to connect to public water and sewer and be a part of the town of Zebulun and have access to the town services and be a part of the community. We look forward to continuing to work with you. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
And now that the public comment is open, we will now hear from all that wish to speak in favor of the Face and Track annexation. Please step to our podium to my left. Hearing none. All wishing to speak in opposition of Face and Track annexation, please step to the podium. Those wishing to speak neither in opposition or in favor, please step to the podium. Thank you. Hearing none, we will now close the public hearing. Thank you. Will there be a motion?
I hereby move to deny ordinance 2026-30 for annexation of Wake County Pen 1795123608 and 1795038323 into the Zebulun coordinates boundaries, finding that the standards of section 2.2.2G are not met.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Commissioner Baxter.
I think that the addition of this parcel, the applicant is proposing something that they can build by right according to our UDO, and a conservation subdivision, I believe, would actually be of benefit by conserving open space. And I know that it takes a lot of work to make sure that an applicant conforms to everything that is requested in our UDO, which is why a lot of times we have planned developments coming before us, because the applicant is asking for deviations from our UDO, which has not happened in this case to my knowledge. So I'm in favor of the annexation.
Thank you, Commissioner Baxter. Any more discussion?
I think for me, right now, just what plans are they building? The conservation, what plans have they presented to us of what they're putting there? We just approved Zebulun Gateway South. We saw kind of what they did, what they're looking to do. We don't have any plans of what they're going to put there. We know it's a conservation community, but to what degree? What type of housing? What are they putting there?
That's the wonderful thing about having specific ordinances in our UDO that allows a build by right opportunity, is that they work through all of the intricacies with the planning department instead of having to come before the board for all of the nitty gritty and each particular deviation that they're looking for. Did I explain that correctly?
Yes, ma'am. If this parcel the annexation is to be approved, the town planning department would be able to evaluate an application per what's allowed on the parcel by its zoning. This development, if this annexation is not approved, is still in ETJ, so it's still in our planning jurisdiction. Their access to wet utilities becomes a little bit more difficult. And so this applicant is still entitled to build what the applicant is submitting to the planning department. It's just a question of, should this be built within the town limits and be serviced through wet utilities per our merger agreement with the city of Raleigh, or should this be built outside the town limits in the ETJ?
And so if they move forward and they build and remain in our ETJ, then they will still utilize many of our services, parks and rec. They just won't, and they will still most likely be able to access water and sewer. They'll just have to pay more for it. However, we will not benefit from receiving taxes from any people that buy parcels on that property.
Any further discussion?
My understanding, I do understand what Commissioner Baxter is saying, to build by right, but I also hear the question with Mayor Pro Tem Miles. This does not give us the opportunity to really understand exactly what's coming before us, what will be built. So my hesitation is making a decision on something that we can annex in, yes, giving them by right, giving them the opportunity to have usage of our public works and our facilities. However, but there's the hesitation for me is still in the fact that we don't know exactly what will be presented to us. And so it sounds to me like you're saying it will come before the planning board.
It will not, no. So when the board adopted the UDO in 2020 and adopted the new zoning map, that board decided what could and could not be built on this site.
Okay.
So that's they're not seeking to change those entitlements.
Discussion from the board? We have a motion and we have a second. Let's do a roll vote. Commissioner Baxter?
Not in favor.
Commissioner Adams? Davis?
Favor.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Favor.
Commissioner Rowland?
Favor.
Thank you. Ms. Brantley?
Good evening, Board,
Good evening.
Mayor, Board, and Mayor Pro Tem. I will be presenting the annexation for 131-201 Temple Johnson Road. Ordinance number 2026-31. The property, as outlined in the yellow here, has an applicant of Meridian Properties Group LLC. The property owners are Meridian Properties Group LLC. Property address is 131 Johnson Road. The property is further addressed with the PIN numbers 270-552-6808 and 270-562-0848. Public hearing signs were posted on the property, on site. Mailed notices were sent out for properties within 750 feet of this property. And a newspaper notification was listed in the Wake Weekly. As outlined in the yellow here, this identifies the property as existing in the ETJ, and the property is adjacent to existing corporate limits. Additionally, the property, as shown, as outlined in yellow, is zoned downtown periphery, DTP, currently. The board will be evaluating this based on annexation standards as identified in 2.2.2G to include owner approval, whether services can be provided, debt obligations, and public health, safety, and welfare. Staff recommends approval of the proposed annexation and adoption of ordinance 2026-31 if the board finds that the standards of section 2.2.G are met. Any questions from the Board of Commissioners? Please direct those to Planning Director Matt Lauer, and the applicant is also here as well if you have any additional questions.
Thank you, Ms. Brantley. Great job. Any questions from the board? Commissioner Roa?
No, Madam Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Commissioner Davis?
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
No, I just want to see the applicants are coming before us.
Okay. Commissioner Adams? Commissioner Baxter?
No questions.
Thank you. Great. We'll go into our public hearing. The public hearing is now open. Public hearing is the opportunity for the public to express thoughts, ideas, concerns, and opinions regarding the proposed request to the Board of Commissioners. The Board of Commissioners, staff, and applicant will not engage in dialogue at this time. If the public has questions pertaining to the annexation request, please contact town staff or the applicant following the annexation public hearing. And we will hear from our applicant. Thank you.
Mayor Harrison. My name is Sean Smith with Meridian Properties Group. We're located at 4030 Wake Forest Road in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're excited to be back again in Zebulun, working on another project. And thank you all for the opportunity to meet with you before we came before you this evening, seeking our annexation. As we've done in the past, we've brought positive projects through Zebulun, and those were also with your support, and we're looking for the same thing in this. We think we have a great opportunity on the south side of the Zebulun Community Park, and we've been in contact with not only all of you, but also our Parks and Rec Department, and are excited to continue our work with them. We're excited about keeping this project within the DTP standards that are laid out within the UDO, and look forward to working with the town staff for another successful project here in Zebulun.
Thank you. Any questions? No. Thank you. We will now have anyone that wishes to speak in favor of the annexation. Please step to the podium to my left. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the Temple Johnson Road annexation? Hearing no one. Anyone that wishes to speak against, in opposition of the Temple Johnson Road annexation, please step to the podium. Hearing none. Anyone that wishes to speak neither in favor or opposition, please step to the podium. We will now officially close the public hearing for Temple Johnson Road. Is there a motion?
I hereby move to approve ordinance 2026-31 for the annexation of Wake County Pin 270-552-6808 and 270-562-0848 into the Zebulun corporate boundaries, finding that the standards of section 2.2.2G are met.
Thank you, Commissioner Baxter. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Motion fails for lack of second.
I hereby move to deny ordinance 2026-31 for the annexation of Wake County Pen 2705-5226-808 and 2705-620848 into the Zebulun corporate boundaries, finding that the standards of section 2.2.G are not met.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion?
I'd like to hear what the findings are that Mayor Pro Tem Miles, what those findings are for not meeting section 2.2.2G.
For me, my same thing is actually creating a blanket. We don't know what's going to go there. You have no idea what's going to be built there. I would prefer plans as we did with Zebulun Gateway South there again. For me, it's going to be presenting plans of what's going to go there. We don't have those plans.
Okay, so may I suggest both with this ordinance and with the phase-on track ordinance, would the board be amenable to tabling both of those ordinances so that we can have provided to the board more information and then have it come back before us at the May 4th meeting? That way, members of the board can feel more comfortable about what is being proposed in both of those tracts.
Board, there's a vote that needs to take place.
That's fine. This is just part of the comments, so.
In discussion, I would not mind tabling this for them to come back before us with this. That was my reason for denial. There's been nothing presented that gives me the reason of why I would approve this. So having the discussion, that's why I was asking about coming before us to give more of a presentation of what this is that you're asking. So I'm in favor of tabling this for further discussion.
How we would need to move forward, if that's the will of the board, is we would have to vote not in favor of Mayor Pro Tem's motion, and then we can make another motion to table this for further discovery or information to a later date.
So it still has to take a roll vote.
Yes, they have to vote on it because it's a motion on the table in a second.
And also just make a note that when they did it before, they have worked with us once before. They created one, they had a plan. It was 48 townhomes, I think 48 townhomes. So they had a plan when they approved. When we did work with them before, they presented a plan to us of what they were going to build on the site. That's currently not what they're doing now. So just know we've only worked with them before.
To the podium, can you step to the podium?
We'll note that on an annexation.
I'm sorry. I apologize. We're not, you can't go into dialogue. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
I will note, though, on an annexation, you're not considering what may go there. You're just considering, do you want this piece of property into the town? It's the zoning that you would consider what potential uses may go there, not what they're specifically planning to do. But, so there's two steps. One is annexation. That's, do we want this property to be part of, the town? And then two, when we rezone the property, are we zoning it in a way that we believe we're good with the potential uses, not the specific use that they intend to make of it, but what potential uses they might make under that zoning designation?
They'll still come back before us.
Are you?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Roll vote. Commissioner Baxter.
Not in favor.
Commissioner Adams. Commissioner Davis.
Not in favor.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Favor.
Commissioner Roa.
Not in favor.
Motion passes. Sorry. Motion fails. All right. Now, do we need a motion to table this, or we'll just table this?
Motion to table.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I can go ahead
Commissioner
and do that.
Baxter, please.
Yeah. I'd like to make a motion to table ordinance 2026-31 for the annexation of Wake County PIN 27055-26808 and 27056-20848 to the May 4th board meeting. Does May 4th work with everybody to table it to May 4th?
Yes.
Okay, to the May 4th board meeting. Anything else we need to put in there? Okay.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Commissioner Baxter?
In favor.
Commissioner Adams? Commissioner Davis?
Favor.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Favor.
Commissioner Roa?
Favor.
Motion passes. Thank you. All right, we are going to take a 5-minute recess.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor and board, I would like to make a motion to reconsider ordinance 2026-31 and, in fact, table the phase-on track consideration to the May 4th board meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Baxter. We have a motion.
Commissioner Baxter, for clarification, you said 31, that's Temple Johnson, but then you said phase on track.
Yeah, good job.
I'm so sorry. You're correct. Let me do that again. Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to reconsider 2026-30, the phase-on tract annexation to the May 4th board meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Baxter. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
We'll have discussion. I will second.
We have a motion and a second. Can we have a discussion, please? We have a discussion. Commissioner Davis?
Yes, Commissioner Baxter, can you clarify the reasoning why you would like to, because this was the one that was denied, correct? So you're asking this to come back before us, even though we've denied it. Can you explain further?
Well, I'm just asking for us to push it to the May 4th meeting so that in the time between now and then, some discussions can be had with the planning department, and we also have our retreat and some board training that is going to happen this coming week, and that I think would be helpful for us. And so that's why I'm hoping that we can just table this to the May 4th meeting.
Just to clarify what I understand the motion to be, the motion to reconsider would be to reconsider the denial, and then a separate motion to table.
I'm sorry, yes. So it's a motion to reconsider the denial.
Any more discussion?
Well, since it's changed, the motion to reconsider the denial, Commissioner Davis, will you continue with your second?
We would be able to have this discussion during our board retreat? Is that what I just heard you state, Dan? Or is this because she's asking to table it?
Specific application during the board retreat, but I think what I understand is we'll be getting some additional training that may provide additional context that you would use when the motion comes back before the board, or the item comes back before the board, if you were to reverse the denial and table it for future consideration.
So what's the training that's going to be received at the retreat? That's going to change?
Well, I just think it would be useful, especially for our new board members, to have a better understanding of what the specific components under the UDO are that would not necessarily relate to this specific project, but to relate to the conservation subdivisions as a whole, so that we can look upon this request with a better understanding of what's actually come before us. And again, the annexation is just approving that parcel of land to become a tax-paying parcel within the town of Zebulun.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Any other questions? We have a motion. Do we have a second? Okay. We have a motion and a second. We'll do a roll vote. Commissioner Roa.
Favor?
Commissioner Baxter.
In favor.
Commissioner Adams.
Favor.
Commissioner Davis.
Favor.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Not in favor.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, and so now I'd like to make a motion to table 2026-30 to the May 4th meeting.
We have a motion. You have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have discussion? Roll vote. Commissioner Roa?
Favor?
Mayor Pro Tem?
Not in favor.
Commissioner Davis? Commissioner Adams? Commissioner Baxter?
Favor.
Motion passes. Thank you. Good. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Board. Thank you, Commissioner Baxter. All right. Now we have Manager's Report.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. The topic that's on the manager report is regarding the policy audit committee that we've established internally to look at both our administrative policies and then make recommendations on some of the governing board policies for you all to consider. So I just wanted to publicly talk a little bit about that process. We've identified a list of policies. We have an internal committee of team members that are reviewing those policies. They will then be submitted to the attorney to review and then brought to you for consideration. So I thought it would be appropriate to introduce that to you all and see if you had any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Commissioner Roa?
Are we getting anything additional?
No, I just wanted to bring the topic up, and then at a work session, we'll have a deeper presentation about the different policies that we'll be reviewing. So right now we have them split up into 3 different categories: high risk, medium risk, and low risk. And so we're starting with our high risk policies, which most of them are around our financial policies. So at a work session, we'll add it in the agenda probably after we get past the budget work sessions in June.
So this is when we have a committee that staff is on, and then we also have our previous town manager, I mean, the one that was still on, still with us, working with them? Yes,
Our previous town manager is, they have a list of about 80 plus policies that they're reviewing, and he's working with the staff to identify the high-risk policies so that we can get those out the way immediately or sooner than later. And then from there, the staff will continue to lead the policy work and present the information to me.
Perfect, thank you.
Is there any way to get someone from the board on this committee?
Sure. Yes. Can I follow up after the meeting to get more guidance on that?
Sure.
Commissioner Baxter? Commissioner Adams, anything? Any comments? Commissioner Davis? You guys good?
Good to go. Thank you,
All right. Thank you, Ms. Manager. And now we will have board comments. We'll begin with Commissioner Baxter.
Thank you. So on March 30th, the Energy Commission held a hearing about potential rate changes to all Duke Energy customers. And I would encourage everyone within the town of Zebulun to reach out to the Energy Commission to talk about and to express their concerns for rate hikes. What Duke Energy and the Energy Commission is looking to do is to put the burden of building new power facilities, power plants, on current residents and not on the, in a lot of cases, data centers that would be using the energy. And so I think it's important to reach out and reach out to your Congress critters, your Congress people and your senators that are in the North Carolina House and Senate. Let them know how you feel. We've got some critical legislation that's being currently discussed in both the House and the Senate that could dramatically affect not only each individual energy consumer, but also each individual municipal resident from across the state of North Carolina. And if anyone is interested in what that legislation is, I would be happy to provide both the legislation numbers as well as contact information.
Commissioner Baxter. Commissioner Adams.
Yes. Just want to thank the town of Zebulun for allowing me to go to National League of Cities a few weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, probably to say. It was amazing. The classes, the education, the networking. The best part of being there really is that when they saw us commissioners, we had our Zebulun, they said, "Hey, go Zebulun." It made me feel good. Like we really represented Zebulun. So wherever you go, know that you are represented. So I appreciate that. It was an honor. It was a privilege. And it was all right for me. So thank you all for trusting me. That's all.
Okay. Commissioner Davis.
You know how I'm talking.
Oh, okay. Commissioner Davis.
That's usually what I say.
No, I actually had the same sentiments as Commissioner Adams. As he said, we had the opportunity to travel to Washington, D.C. a few weeks ago, and it was an opportunity for this board to continue what we always do, which is to represent the town of Zebulun on a national level. It's an opportunity to network, to learn more, to bring greatness back to the town, to talk about the needs, our concerns, and desires for the town. I look forward to serving on 2 boards, now part of NLC, to continue to bring the greatness. So I want to thank the opportunity for that to happen, and just thank this board for the continuing to do the work and the effort that they do. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Rolla.
I'd just like to ask Dan Hartzog, Attorney Hartzog, to work on getting us that SOG kind of Robert's Rule of Order situation that we can adopt, review, and practice, and have something to refer back to so that we could study and assist in making sure that the meetings run smoother.
Are you referring to sort of the rules of procedure for the board meetings? Yes, I looked, we do have a rules of procedure, but it's kind of a one-page document. There is a suggested rules of procedure for municipal boards that's published by the UNC School of Government that I always suggest to boards. It really does a good job of laying out exactly how these meetings should run, what types of motions can be made, who can make them, when they can be made. So if it's the will of the board, I would be happy to bring a suggested rules of procedure for this board to adopt that would sort of give us a little bit more guidance on how meetings should be run.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Rolla. Mayor Pro Tem.
Once again, the sentiments, I'll piggyback off Commissioner Adams and Davis as well. Great opportunity to go to League of Cities and actually kind of learn a lot of new things to bring back to the community and to enhance us and make us even better leaders that we are for the greater good of all Zebulun. With that said, I thank my board members for also constant communication with each other, working with you guys. It means a lot. We're really getting the people work done, and I'm really excited about that. We continue to do that for the greater good of all Zebulun. Mayor, welcome back as well. And I had to put that out there. But with that said, thank you guys. I look forward to continue to work with you guys. Let's continue unity through community.
I was about to say, I'm not going to stop until you say it.
Hey,
All right.
I'm so sorry to do this, but Commissioner Rolla and I, we did so much this month. We went to the Main Street meeting, and it was phenomenal. And we got to see all of the wonderful things that other Main Streets are doing across the state. And it was another great opportunity, just like going to NLC. So sorry that I forgot about that. I was too busy talking about energy rates.
Absolutely. Energy rates are important. Thank you, Commissioner Baxter. Thank you, Commissioner Rolla. Thank you for your openness, and to our board for wanting to ensure that our meetings are ran smoothly and properly. I want to, just, talk to the public and those in the audience. We are a fairly new board with a fairly new staff, and so sometimes our meetings might look a little all over the place, but we're doing the best we can, and we will continue to get better through different opportunities that Dan will give us, through our board orientation opportunities and our retreats. So thank you all for that. I want to thank my board for allowing me the opportunity to step away for a week, and to the public, because everyone worries about me not taking a break. Thank you so much to our board, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioner Roa Davis, Commissioner Adams, Commissioner Baxter, Jeremy, Katie. Thank you all so much for allowing me the opportunity to take 7 days and not take any calls or check any emails. It was amazing, and I appreciate you all. As mayor, I value public input deeply, especially from our young people. Their voices matter, and their willingness to engage in the process is something we should all encourage. At the same time, I have a responsibility in this role to maintain order, to ensure productive dialogue, and protect the integrity of this board's work. The use of the gavel has never been about silencing a voice, but about upholding those responsibilities in a moment where the tone of the conversations can become unproductive. Let me be clear. I am here to lead, not to control. But leadership also requires balance. This board works incredibly hard on behalf of this community. And while constructive criticism is both necessary and welcomed, repeated or unproductive criticism can hinder the progress we are all working so hard to make. To our community, especially those who are passionate about moving Zebulun forward, I welcome that passion. I invite it. And I believe in our greatest progress, we will come together. We will move Zebulun forward together in the spirit of respect, collaboration, and in unity. I'm always open. My door is always open to sit down with any community member in this town. This is a standard that I have set, and this is a standard that I will continue to uphold as mayor. Thank you. And now we have closed session as permitted by NC General Statute 143-318.111A5 for the purpose of property acquisition for parks and recreation. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor? What's the closed session? I don't even know if I was supposed to.
So moved.
I do that. Is you okay? Because I've been looking at you the whole time. You look like it. I can see it in your eyes.